because it's an artificial construct. But can they say no to life? Can they say no to life and the expansion of life and the perpetuation of life and the focus on the expansion and the perpetuation of life through tribe, species, and nation building? Do you have a problem with that? So when you start talking about polygamy, you actually giving them an escape. Because now they can say, oh, I'm just not with polygamy. I don't support polygamy. Do you support the multiplication of the black species? Do you support species, tribe, and nation building? And if you really support that, by default, you would end up supporting something that may look like polygamy. Because you're not going to be against the expansion of the black tribe, the black family, and the divine black species. You cannot be against that. At least you be participating in self-hatred. At least you be the black version of Margaret Thatcher. And I don't call it Planned Parenthood. I call it the unplanning to be a parenthood. The unplanning of parenthood is what they really should call it. So polygamy is an escape when you to even use that artificial construct. Because people act like it's just a choice. It's just how do you feel? How do you feel? How you feel has nothing to do with you being here. In a lot of instances, how your parents feel, other than the pleasure that they had during intercourse, doesn't have anything to do with a lot of you all being here. That it was completely up to human beings feeling a certain way. Most of you all wouldn't even be born. So your feelings don't play as much of a role in the multiplication of the black species. Your feelings is not as relevant as they are made when somebody asks you a question as to what do you think about polygamy. You're going to go with how you feel about that, not about what you understand about nation building. A lot of people talking about polygamy and they're saying, well, most people want to have polygamy because they want to have sex with more than multiple women. And some men is like, oh, well, they want to back up off of that and say, well, no, that's not what it is. It's blah, blah, blah. That should be what it is. Because you want to have children with multiple women. And you want to create the type of feminine, nurturing situation to be able to take care of multiple children and to nourish a family. So yeah, you do want to have sex with multiple women. That's it. Yeah, that's a part of, yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, the sex with multiple women might be more important than polygamy. It may be even better just to say you want to have sex with multiple women than to say you are a polygamist. Because you can have a polygamy that don't nothing come from it. You can have polygamy and it's nothing. It's just your ego. It's just some ego. It's cultural egotism. Nothing's coming from it. It's some people who having sex with multiple women that's producing more than people are producing in polygamy. Because they're actually bringing divine black beings onto the planet. They're helping populate the earth with the people that they say they love, that look like them, that's melanated. That's what they're doing. You say you love black people, then you would have to love the type of setup that would support more black beings and entities coming into the planet. So that would be the least of your rejections against polygamy of a man having sex with more than one woman. That would be the least of your worries. You definitely want that to happen because you definitely want there to be more black beings on the earth. Because you love yourself and you love your race. So you want to see more of your race. But it's about people's personal feelings, though. How I feel about this part, or how I feel about polygamy, and what I think and what I feel. It's not about what the fuck you feel. Your feelings can be manipulated by white supremacy, by television, propaganda, music. Your feelings can be manipulated by society. They can make you feel a certain way and make you have an abortion. They can make you feel a certain way and make you mutilate your tubes and rip out your tubes and rip out your body because they made you feel a certain way. Because you feel a certain way, you went laid on that table and let them scrape the uterus up out your body because you feel a certain way. Fuck feelings. It's about nation building. Get over your own feelings. Get over your feelings. Transcend feeling and replace feeling for intelligent, critical analysis and critical thinking. And sacrifice your feelings for what you know intelligently will be beneficial for nation building and tribe building. See, when you say polygamy, you give somebody an escape. They can escape that. That's just a choice. Everything is under nation building. Everything is a sub title on the nation building. Everything. Once you're about black supremacy and you're about nation building, you cannot really be nothing else. You cannot be a polygamist. You cannot even be a vegan. That's just what loving life looks like. Eating healthy and wanting to have a long life. Wanting to populate the earth with black people. That looks like you having sex with multiple women. To have multiple children. To build a nation and a tribe. That's just what it looks like. You could call it polygamy if you want. You could call eating healthy veganism if you want. These are artificial constructs. It's called wanting to live, wanting to survive and thrive. But when you say veganism, when you say polygamy, it's an artificial construct where a person feels like, well, I have a choice. They can say, well, you know, but if you say, well, I eat healthy. Don't say vegan, just say you eat healthy. And ask them, do you eat healthy? And I bet you if they keep studying health and trying to eat healthy and healthy and healthy, it'll lead them to veganism. Don't say polygamy. Just ask them, are you into nation building and you want to multiply the black family and multiply the black nation and see more black children and see our population increase from 37 million in America to 100 million? Just ask them that. And do you want to see that happen by any means necessary? And they say yes. Okay, well then that polygamy is what you call polygamy. What looks like polygamy is a way that can happen. The second, that was my first issue with polygamy. It's an artificial construct that allows people to escape nation building, to escape looking at things from the perspective of nation building, species building, community building. Meaning that it's bigger than the individual. It's more important than the individual. Because it's about a million other individuals being born, a million other individuals coming onto this planet. So the choice of polygamy is more bigger than how one individual feels. It's about how much more life that we're going to bring into the planet. It's about nation building. It's about community building. And that should be a choice. That should be a focus. Bringing more entities here onto the planet. Not the entities are here trying to hoard up and worry about their egotistical and individualistic existence. To the point they become so selfish and so self-centered that they making populating the planet a preference, a persuasion, or a lifestyle. That organic living now is a lifestyle preference or an alternative way of living. It's not an alternative, it is the truth. Polygamy is not an alternative. Having multiple mates is not an alternative way of living. It is life. Eating healthy is not an alternative way to eat. It is the way to live. Veganism, polygamy, all this is an artificial construct. Get rid of your artificial constructs, and because people, you allow people to interface with you based on them, and you're giving them a way out. Well, this is how I feel. This is what I think. What you feel didn't even have nothing to do with you being born. If the planet, if everybody in the black community just went off their feelings of there being more than us, out of the Willie Lynch and the self-hate program that's running, there would be 10 people probably 10 black people in America. Because we would feel like there shouldn't be nobody else. We would feel like we don't want to take care of nobody else. We should feel like there should be nobody but us. Because that is what they bred in our consciousness. My next issue with it is, to me, people saying that they're polygamists is up there with like saying you are homosexual. It's an alternative lifestyle. It's the same thinking. It's like a multiple choice, many choices of what you could be and what you could do. It's like fitting into particular boxes that has been set up for you. So you say, well, you're a homosexual. And this person says, well, I'm a monogamous. And this person says, I'm a polygamist. And this person says, I'm a heterosexual. The truth is, my biggest problem that I've had with homosexuals is telling me about it. I'm not in a relationship. I don't want to know about your homosexuality or what you do in your household. Or I don't care about that. I don't want to know about no homosexuals. You don't have to tell me that. When I see somebody, I see a human being. And I just want to deal with that. I don't want to think about your sexuality to interface with you. I don't want to have to conceptualize that. And you shouldn't have to bring anyone into your bedroom and into trying to analyze your bedroom and what you do in your bedroom and within your household. You shouldn't be trying to bring nobody into that. You shouldn't leave that up for scrutiny. But when you come out and tell somebody that you're a homosexual, now you're bringing them in, you're giving them an open door to scrutinize your lifestyle, your sexual behavior, and your activity within your household. You'll open the door. So now they can hate you. Now they can be against you. Now they can have a problem with you, and now they can discriminate against you based upon their sexuality because you put it out to them. And you also made it as though they should have any business, that they have any business involved in what your sex life is and what you do in your household behind closed doors, that they should have any concern about that by saying you're coming out saying you're a homosexual. It's the same thing with saying you're a polygamist. Why should your lifestyle, the sacred unions within your home, be put out to the public for scrutiny? As though it's anyone's business. If people are happy to be with in a relationship, if multiple women are happy to be with one man, or they found harmony and peace in that relationship, that's fine. That's beautiful. And it's going good. Then you go out and you say, well, you know what? I'm practicing polygamy. Now you took something that was very sacred, that was very, very innocent, that was very private, and now you put it up for scrutiny. Now you are actually interrupting the balance within your own household. You are inviting people to scrutinize and to attack your household. You're inviting people to be against what you have going on. That's none of their business what you got going on. We should stop letting people think that anything that we have going on within our households is anybody's business. We should stop doing that. They don't have no business in your household and judging or condemning or rationalizing what's going on within your household. They should look at what you have going on and immediately realize that, you know what, that's none of my business. That is none of my goddamn business. And then I bet you that we will have stronger relationships within our community. That our relationships will have more longevity because we won't be inviting any negativity into our households. They won't be up for scrutiny. Whatever you do within your household, with your family, whatever you feel is constructive, whatever makes what you do work, doesn't have to be put out to the world to scrutinize. And polygamy is one thing that do that. It's like you give people an intellectual door by trying to spread it and propagate it. You're giving people a door to be destructive and not constructive with their opinion and with their advice and their reaction to whatever's going on within your household. So that's one issue that I have with having that artificial construct. That needs to change. Our relationships will survive a lot longer when you keep them as that. Our relationships. Yeah, we want to go and share with the world, and we want other people to try these different lifestyles and try these different things. But a lot of times that works against you because you're just drawing haters. You're drawing unnecessary negative dialogues about your situation, about what you have going on that affects you directly. People gonna do what they gonna do. They're gonna have multiple women. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. They don't need our advice or our propagation of what to do in their lifestyles and within their households. They're gonna do that. So I think that's the one problem that I see with polygamy is like, if you've achieved happiness and bliss, leave that shit alone. Let your shit be blissful. Let your shit be happy, and focus on nation building. Focus on black supremacy, and let people get to polygamy through black supremacy, through nation building, through the right way, through consciousness. Let them get there on their own. Then they'll respect it and honor it, and they won't just think they're arguing a lifestyle choice and they just in somebody else's business or trying to condemn or judge somebody, because that's typically what happens. If you're in bliss and peace, let your situation be in bliss and peace and harmony. Stop looking for validation. Sometimes we're trying to validate what we got going on. If you're happy and blissful with what you have going on, you don't need validation from anybody. If you're in heaven, you don't need validation. You don't need to validate your lifestyle, validate what you're doing. The health, wealth, and development of what you're doing will speak for itself no matter what people think or how people feel. So don't invite them negatively into your situation under a false construct. It's not called polygamy. It's called health and nation building and black love. And that's going to look a lot of ways. And it's a lot of opportunities when one can really focus on black love and nation building and health. A lot of different types of forms of interfacing and interacting with each other can manifest. But I think what's important is that it's about black love, nation building, and health. And that should draw people into whatever's going on, not some just lifestyle persuasion or lifestyle group. Nation building. And if they come that way, then they'll come with the right mind, they'll come with the right perspective, and with the right heart, and with the right intentions. Not argumentative and ignorant, but in the right way. So that's my only issue that I have with polygamy. Just have a divine lifestyle, have a divine family, have a divine experience, and let that speak for itself, and focus on nation building. And if you present that with people, that's hard for any black person to argue with and debate about, because it's some self-hatred mixed in the selfishness. There's some self-hatred in that if you hate your own race and you hate yourself and others, so you can't deal with nobody else. It's a lot of problems that are being swept under the rug of, I'm against polygamy, I can't do polygamy. It's a lot of things that are allowed to slip under the rug, that if they was able to deal with black nationalism and black supremacy and black love, they wouldn't be able to get away with some of these arguments and some of these reasons that they reject what you're calling polygamy. I mean, there's no way you can get away with it. It would be evil under the auspices of nation building. These perspectives, these counter arguments, and the reason and feelings of why you are against multiplicity, you couldn't get away with them under nationalism, under black love. It's King Noble Black Supremacy, signing out.